I've lost over 100 pounds playing basketball. If you count the weight that I gained back and then lost again, it's probably closer to 200 pounds now. Basketball has been a huge motivator and source of inspiration for me to lose weight. But in order to understand how I got here and why I love the sport so much, we have to go back to when I first started playing. This might sound crazy, but I actually gained weight my first 6 years playing basketball. The first time I ever touched a basketball was the summer before my freshman year of high school, right around my 14th birthday. I was trash, but I fell in love with the sport from the beginning, especially shooting. There was just something about the feeling when the ball went through the net that I just couldn't get enough of. I asked my dad to get me a ball for my birthday, and I took it with me to school every day. It wasn't easy carrying a gym bag and my overstuffed backpack on 2 buses and a train every morning, but I didn't care. I was excited to get to school every morning so I could shoot around before the bell rang, and when the bell rang again for lunch, it was time to go out and play again. This time with a big group of guys. Sometimes we even played 6-on-6 because there were so many people. And then after school, I would shoot around again before I had to catch the bus back home and repeat the cycle. Junior year of high school, I tried out for the team. Our high school wasn't good at sports, so I thought I had a pretty good chance. But when the rosters were announced, my name was nowhere to be found. It hurt, but I was motivated. I still had another chance, and I made sure I worked on my shot as much as I could before senior year. I knew our team lacked shooting the most, so that's what I worked on. Tryouts came around again, and I felt confident. I was known as the best shooter in the school, and the guys on the team would challenge me to shooting contests all the time. I did well in the practice drills, and I even hit a game winner in the scrimmage. I thought there was no way I didn't make the team this time. To my dismay, my name was once again left off the roster, and my dreams of playing high school basketball were officially dead. That was the first time in my life where I felt like I truly missed out, like there was an opportunity that passed that I could never get back. I felt like a failure. Felt like all the work I'd put in over the last few years was for nothing. I questioned whether or not it was because of my weight or if I just wasn't good enough. But unfortunately for me, I never got an answer. I guess I just wanted a sense of closure. Wanted to know exactly why it was that I didn't make the team. A lot of people might be embarrassed by this, but I'm proud of myself. I even went to the extent of going to a lot of the games and showing up to the practices every morning. I was just hoping that one day the coach would change their mind and give me a shot, but that day never came. I was devastated at the time, but looking back, it makes sense. I was nowhere near in good enough shape to play. At the time, I was about 5'8" and probably 275 pounds. You might be wondering how on earth I managed to get that big while being that active, and the answer is simple: food addiction. Food is how my family rewards everything. Celebrations, birthdays, getting good grades. Food was always the answer. It's what brought everyone together. But it goes a little deeper than that for me. Food was one of my escapes. It was how I coped with the frustration and pain I felt growing up. I was always a heavier kid. I was overweight before I even knew what that was. And as soon as I got old enough to be aware, I was bullied for it. I got bullied at school, and when I went home, my older brother would bully me again. Food was the only thing that made me feel better, even if just for a moment. So although I was playing basketball multiple hours a day, as soon as I got home, I would eat everything in sight. I even went as far as stealing candy from my parents' room. When I got to college, I thought things would change. I was away from my parents, away from the bullying, and I was in a new environment. But old habits die hard. I developed a tendency to isolate, and now that I had the freedom to bring food to the dorm where no one could see me, my eating habits got even worse. That's how I got to my highest weight, around 320 pounds. I say around 320 because I don't know exactly. I went to the doctor and I exceeded the 300-pound limit on the scale. That was my breaking point. The number on the scale was a huge shock to me, but it was a culmination of everything I had gone through. The bullying, not making the team in high school, not being sure of myself, not being confident, just not being the person that I wanted to be. It was that day I decided I needed to make a change. I started playing basketball again every day and did a lot of fasting, multiple days at a time. I'm trying to keep things simple for the sake of the video, but there were so many things that came along with the fasting. Headaches, constant hunger, low energy, not being in a good mood. My life honestly sucked while I was doing this, but I was hungry, not just in the literal sense, but also in the sense that I was chasing something, Or better put, I was running away from something. I was running away from the old me, the version of myself that didn't have much hope for the future, the version of myself that thought I would be overweight for my whole life, that didn't think it was possible to lose weight. I wanted to get as far away from that person as possible. I didn't really have a plan at the time. I guess my plan was just not be me. In 2 years, I lost 100 pounds. Unfortunately, I would end up gaining back 50 pounds the following year. Other than basketball, I hadn't developed any habits that would allow me to keep losing weight or even maintain my new weight. I even started to notice a decline in my performance on the court for the first time in my life. I felt slower, my cardio got worse, and although I've never been athletic in my life, for the first time I really felt unathletic. It's all relative at the end of the day. I've since spent the last few years trying to figure out how to lose weight the right way and develop habits that will allow me to keep the weight off once I get to my goal. I still don't have everything figured out yet, but I've made a lot of progress over the years. I've learned what works for me and what doesn't, and what I can do for the long term. I've developed systems and habits that I put into place that I can implement on a daily basis. Now I lift regularly. I've been more consistent than I've ever been in my life with my exercise and diet. I've learned how to meal prep and make food that I can eat on a regular basis that will allow me to lose weight and not hate what I eat. These things have taken me a long time, and I still haven't perfected them yet, but I know I will. Part of what gives me hope is just knowing how far I've come. I've thought about quitting a million times, tried every fad diet there is. Battling food addiction and binge eating isn't easy, but I've never quit because I've had my North Star in sight the whole time. A dream, a vision of a version of myself that I created, brick by brick. A version of myself that is confident, athletic, and never backs down from a challenge. That's what keeps me going. The reality is, there's a window for your athletic prime, and once it passes, you can never get it back. I don't want to miss the opportunity to experience that. I need to lose the rest of this weight and truly become athletic before my window is up. Maybe I'm doing this for the 14-year-old me that never got to live out his dreams of playing high school basketball. And maybe I'm doing this for the people who are scared to chase their dreams like I was. But either way, I'm gonna do what it takes to get there. Quitting is not an option. I want to be able to look back at myself one day and be proud, not only of what I've accomplished, but of the man I've become. The journey is important. You should enjoy it. You should look forward to the work you put in every day. But sometimes we can get lost in the sauce. And if you take some time to sit back and reflect, then you can really start to see the difference. I've really noticed it within myself, not just physically, but also mentally. And having that perspective lets me see that there's just so much more room to grow. We've come a long way, but there's still more work to do, and I look forward to it.